Welcome back to the Enough is Enough podcast, where we help you escape your narc and heal completely from the damage he's done to you. God is a God of complete healing, complete restoration. Today's topic, 7 signs you are over the narc. I was talking with a lady in one of my phone advice sessions this last week, and she brought up, she wanted to know, how do I really know? She's done some healing, not enough, as we discussed on the phone, but how can I know I'm really over him and I'm really moving past him? Very good question, and that led to this video. First, for all my resources on escaping your narc and recovering from your narc, go to my website, davideclarkephd.com. I've got a resource, a book, ebook, video series for every step of this escape journey and all the way through the divorce and after the divorce. Okay, before I cover the 7 signs of post-narc recovery, I want you to understand something. Recovery from the narc is brutal. It takes time and hard work. There are no shortcuts. Be very wary of all these therapies that they I'll do it in one session, rapid this and rapid that. No, this takes time and effort, and it takes the right action steps. I wish there was a shortcut. There are no shortcuts. I'm 65 years old, which I know is shocking. I'm so young and vital looking, but you know what? I've been around, been a psychologist for 30 years, and there are no shortcuts to anything. Divorcing the narc is a part of the process of recovery, but it's not enough. You come out of the divorce damaged, wounded, traumatized from the awful abusive marriage and the divorce process. Bad enough living with this dirtball and then divorcing him, and afterwards also awful. He'll make sure it's awful. Your body is coming out of the divorce. Your body is damaged, trying to recover. Your mind is damaged. Your emotional system is damaged. Your view of yourself is damaged. Your relationship with God is damaged. Your finances are damaged. Your children are damaged. In many cases, your relationship with your children is damaged. I talk to phone clients every day who have been divorced from the narc for years, but are still not in recovery. They are stuck in a trauma bond to the narc ex. They have not healed. They have not moved on. They want to desperately. They are unhappy, not at peace, still physically and emotionally sick, paralyzed. It's like they aren't divorced at all. They tell me the narc looks happy and his life seems great. Well, they are a big time mess. Well, I've got the resources to help them and you if you're in this situation, or you might know someone who is. Complete recovery, and I'm talking about complete recovery, is what God wants for you, and it's what you can get if you follow the right plan. I'm not a believer that God somehow would be in favor of incomplete recovery. Here are 7 signs you are over the narc. 1, your physical health is improved, significantly improved. Without the narc abusing you every day, your stress is way down, and so your body is on the mend. Inflammation down. Whatever's happening in your body, it's healing itself. And frankly, God's healing you. You may not be fully healthy, but you're on your way. You feel so much better. You have energy and vitality again. You're sleeping much better. 2, your emotional health is improved. Significantly improved. You aren't depressed anymore. You aren't anxious anymore. You're not crying anymore about the past. You still get triggered by the narc ex and certain other abusive people. Okay, that's true, but not nearly as often. And you have an intellectual response, not an emotional one. You notice the trigger and it passes quickly. No big deal. You rarely get flashbacks about abusive events with the narc. You rarely get a bad dream about the narc. You feel free, at peace, happy. 3, you are back to who you are. You have reclaimed your identity. Your personality is back after having given it up to the narc. Your self-esteem, your confidence, your self-respect are back. You are who God made you to be. You express your thoughts, opinions, and emotions freely. You don't allow anyone to abuse you without a response. You're done being treated badly without a response. You have nothing to do with abusive people. You can laugh. You can be playful. You love your life. You look forward to each day. You have hope for the future. Proverbs 31:25 describes you. Listen to what it says. She is clothed with strength and dignity, and she laughs without fear of the future. Yeah, that's where we're going with God's help. The 4th sign you were over the narc is you feel neutral toward the narc. You don't hate him. He's not worth hating. You're not bitter. You're not resentful. You're not angry at him. You have worked through the pain and trauma, and you have forgiven him. And again, you don't have to continue to forgive everything he does. You're going to be so far removed from him. You're going to forgive up to a point, all right? And then there'll be no more forgiveness because you won't need it. He won't be affecting you nearly as much. All that's cleaned out and you've detached from him and you've moved on. You don't obsess about him and his life. You don't care what he's doing. You don't envy him. You don't wish bad things to happen to him. Of course, if bad things do happen to him, you won't be upset. But that's God's choice, not yours. You don't care about him and his life. You hardly ever think about him, and when you do, it's neutral. Whatever, you don't care. He doesn't mean anything to you. You don't see him much because you don't have to, and you don't want to, and when you do see him, it doesn't bother you. Yeah, it's not fun, but it's not that big of a deal. You don't dread it. You can see him and his new airhead, bimbo, skank woman, and you couldn't care less. You might feel kind of bad for her, but other than that, who cares? All you feel is relief that you aren't with him anymore. 5, you and God are close again. You have worked through your issues with God, which is very common when you live with a narc. You feel God's love and presence and guidance in your life again. You are having daily devotions, you pray regularly, you're back in church, and you find a church that you like, that understands narcissism, and you feel supported. 6, your new life is moving ahead. You're building a new life, friends, family, job, service in the church, hobbies, fun. You feel no shame or guilt about the divorce. And finally, 7, you can spot a narc, and this is critical. You can easily identify narcs, and you avoid them like the plague. You can spot a narc in your personal life, at work, at church, in the grocery store line, in your neighborhood, a mile away, and you avoid that person. You ignore that person. And you, of course, do not date a person like that. And if you have to deal with a narc, like at your place of work, you can do it. You can manage a narc and not be abused. Okay, if you're not divorced from your narc yet, get my book, Escaping Your Narcissist, and get ready to divorce him. This will show you exactly how to do it, Escaping Your Narcissist. If you are divorced but not in recovery yet, that's okay, that's normal. Most people struggle with recovery after the divorcing a narc. Get these books of mine and do your work of recovery. Codependent Hell to break your trauma bond, very important. Because after divorce, you still are trauma bonded. I didn't want a divorce, now I want to heal from all the traumas in your life. And finally, I would add, I'm Not Okay and Neither Are You, the 6 Steps to Emotional Freedom. This is my book, a deeper dive into emotional health to make sure we get you where God wants you to be in the psychological area. And join our anti-narc warrior team today by subscribing to my YouTube channel. We have strength in numbers, and we can help more people get away from their narcs.